Hello everyone! This week we will start talking about investment appraisal. The thing is, shareholders supply funds to a firm for a specific reason in order to receive a return on their investment. Management uses these funds provided by shareholders in order to invest in real assets such as property, plant, equipment, and so on, which are then used in business operations to generate revenue and profit. No matter how large the company is, there is always a limit to the funds available, and so it is vital for the management to employ the best techniques available when analyzing which of all available investment opportunities will give the best possible return. Management has to decide whether it's better to build a new factory or extend the old one, whether it's better to use an empty piece of land for a multi-story car park or to invest a larger sum and possibly build a shopping center, to develop a new product and launch it into a new market which might require substantial investment and high amount of risk, or possibly simply promote the existing product. All of these possible projects will require different amount of capital, they will generate different return and will come with different risks, and financial managers need to be able to compare them and to decide which project would be the most appropriate for their organization. Alternatively, it could be that shareholders would be actually better off if the firm returned their money in the form of dividends because the shareholders could obtain a better return elsewhere. Decisions about allocation of funds require reliable information on many factors. For example, the market environment, predicted demand, internal resources and capabilities of the company, costs and risks associated with the project, and so on. And of course, apart from the information on competing investment opportunities, financial managers also need investment appraisal techniques, which allow them to compare available opportunities and select the most appropriate ones. That is why this week I will introduce you to these specific concepts. By the end of this week, you should be able to explain the importance of investment decisions, what sort of investment decisions the company can make, what are four main investment appraisal methods, starting from the traditional ones like payback period and accounting rate of return, to more modern and sophisticated techniques of net present value and internal rate of return. You should be able to understand the benefits and limitations of each method. You should be able to understand how to apply them, and hopefully by the end of the week you will have quite a lot of information in order to be able to start applying these methods to simple investment decisions. This is our plan. Let's proceed. First thing we need to understand is that any business can be viewed simply as a collection of investment projects, some old, some new, some being major strategic projects, and all others simply minor operating level schemes. But in any case, what any company does, it invests. However, there is some difference between how investment is treated in economics and finance. In economics, we assume that any investment is simply a purchase of tangible capital goods, which are not consumed today but are used in the future to generate wealth. In other words, in economics, we treat investment as purchasing of physical means of production. In finance, however, apart from investing in physical capital goods, investment also includes purchase of financial assets, which will also provide some income in the future or will be sold at a higher price for a profit. And this includes financial assets like stocks, bonds, real estate, and so on. This type of investment, purchase of financial assets, merely transfers ownership of an existing asset. It doesn't create new assets like in economics, but it simply transfers ownership of any existing products which can generate wealth. This is a slight difference between two approaches. Any company will face the same problem which economics try to resolve: how to maximize the output from the limited available inputs. In economics, we focus on decisions made by consumers, how to maximize utility subject to a certain budget constraint, how to maximize profit based on limited number of capital and labor available to the company. In finance, we do the same thing. We also focus on decisions which are made by companies who are trying to select the best or most profitable investment opportunity in order to promote shareholders' wealth. Any investment normally involves some initial capital outflow, frequently large amounts, and will generate subsequent cash inflows. Usually this will be a stream of smaller amounts. For example, you can buy a rental property, which will involve substantial sum spent initially, and it will generate rent for many, many years to come. You can buy a rental property in the residential sector, or you can build a shopping center and then rent commercial spaces for shops who will pay you rents again for many decades to come. This can be done by individuals or by companies. You can invest in building a factory which will produce furniture or computers or cars, and again, you will invest substantial sum amounts initially, cash outflow, which will hopefully generate some smaller cash inflows in the future, however, for extended period of time. What is important here is that these cash flows, cash outflows and cash inflows do not all occur at the same time, but will frequently come with a time lag. And as we've learned from one of the previous lectures, one of the main concepts in finance is the time value of money. Cash flows which occur at different dates will have different value in today's terms. Even if the sum itself is the same, even if cash flow is the same, let's say £1,000, it will be worth different amount depending on when it will occur. Try some examples of investment decisions which a company can make. For example, whether to introduce a new product or service development, whether to improve an existing product, whether to extend the market, for example, to introduce an existing product or a service to new markets, to launch it somewhere else in a new geographical area, whether to buy or install new machinery or purchase new technology in order to cut costs, and so on. Apparently, investment decisions which a company or financial manager makes is crucial for its success, because any investment project will tie in large amounts of resources for extended period of time. They involve commitments of investment and finance, time and energy, which might be difficult and or expensive to reverse. And eventually, they will determine whether a company is profitable and successful in the future or not, whether shareholders who provided finance for this organization will get their return back. That is why, when a company makes a decision whether to invest in a particular project, they will need to go through a rigorous investment analysis process, which is the process of evaluating a particular investment project for profitability and risks. Companies will conduct this sort of analysis in order to research and evaluate a particular financial asset, security, or to understand an industry or a specific project, to forecast how this particular investment is likely to perform in the future, what return it will generate, whether this specific project will represent a good fit for a company investment portfolio. As I've just mentioned, any business can be considered as a portfolio of its investment projects, and any new investment which you will add to this portfolio can be complementary to what you are already doing or not, whether it will provide a good fit or not. And of course, you need to go through the process of investment analysis in order to create your overall investment strategy. When you conduct this sort of analysis, you will consider the appropriate entry price, how much you need to invest. If you are buying certain financial assets, what price do you need to pay for certain stocks or bonds? What is the expected time horizon for holding an investment? And what role this specific investment will play in a portfolio? Will it boost its returns? Will it help to manage risk? Will it help to diversify your holdings, or something else? Investment appraisal, the focus of today's lecture, is the way in which businesses will assess the attractiveness of certain investment project based on several analytical techniques. It's an input to investment decision-making process which will justify whether a particular investment project is worthwhile, and it will provide a rationale for spending the limited resources which a company has. What is important to understand is that investment project appraisal is merely one of the stages in the process of allocation of resources within a firm. The appraisal stage is reached after the ideas for alternative uses of scarce capital resources have been generated, and those ideas have been filtered through a consideration of strategic, budgetary, and business resource capabilities of the firm. After the investment appraisal stage, the company will go through further stages: the project approval, implementation, and post-completion audit stages. During later years of your studies here at BCU, you might be offered a module, an optional module in project management, where you will study all of these stages in quite a lot of details. You might also come across opportunities to get an additional qualification, Prince 2 qualification in project management, which might enhance your CV. We do sometimes offer this to our students for free. If you will see these opportunities, please make sure that you use them because this qualification is rather valuable. It's valued by employers. So keep an eye on this. Next, investment decisions balance a number of elements, including affordability. Can the company actually afford to invest on this project? Does it have enough capital, or can it raise sufficient capital in order to benefit from this opportunity? Return on investment. Does this project deliver a suitable return given forecasted costs and benefits? Is this actually the best way to get the maximum return on available funds? And of course, portfolio effect, which I've mentioned already several times. Does the project fit with the other company investments? Does it follow the overall company strategy? And now let's move to the actual methods of investment appraisal. In this module, we are going to focus on 4 techniques. Traditional techniques, which include calculating the accounting rate of return and payback period, and also more modern techniques based on calculating discounted cash flow, net present value, and internal rate of return. The payback and accounting rate of return methods of evaluating capital investment proposals have historically been and continue to be very popular approaches, in spite of their drawbacks, which we are going to review later. ARR is the least popular, which is used by around 50% of large corporations in the UK, according to recent surveys. And the net present value is the preferred and most popular method, which is currently used by nearly 99% of large firms. Most companies, however, consider these methods as complementary rather than competing, and that is why you need to be aware of what each method will involve.